Our top story here at 6:30 tonight, drugged driving. It is a growing problem across the state. And even if you're taking the prescribed dosage of illegal medication, you could still go to jail if you cause a wreck while behind the wheel. Albany County launched its drug driving campaign today. And as Jennifer Lukey shows us, they have the support of some people who have seen firsthand just how devastating the effects can be.
August 10th of 2011 was probably the most horrific day of my family, along with two other families.
Kathy's mother and two other women were standing outside of this church in Voorheesville waiting for their walking group to take off when they were run down by an out-of-control SUV.
What tragically took their lives was a woman who took a cocktail of 5 drugs that morning. And while it was just a very short jaunt to drop her child off, she was probably 1.5 miles from her home. She took my mother's life along with Rose and Carol's.
This horrific crash has put drugged driving in the spotlight, and locally law enforcement is stepping up efforts to find those who should not be behind the wheel. Most departments now have drug recognition experts, specially trained police officers that get called in when someone is pulled over under the suspicion of DUI and alcohol is ruled out.
Different drugs have different effects on the body in terms of the blood pressure, the pulse, the reaction you'll get from their eyes, the person's mannerisms themselves, their behaviors, the way they'll perform the sobriety test.
If a DRE makes the determination that you're under the influence, you'll have to agree to a toxicology test.
The person can refuse a toxicology test, and that would be pursued the same way as if they refused an alcohol test.
But that means you'll be charged the same way, too. Lieutenant Walden and all DREs are held to a high standard when it comes to getting it right.
You have to have all your evaluations analyzed, and you have to have them supported by a certain number of positive toxicology results.
But Kathy, Sheriff Apple, the district attorney, and state police are hoping those who are taking medications that may impair their driving just choose to stay home instead.
This is the start of the sacrifice, probably the ultimate sacrifice that those 3 women took that day. And if it unfortunately took their lives to save others, then they were women of service.
In Albany, Jennifer Lukey, CBS 6 News.